What is an adventure? To some, it's venturing into a land unknown with no clue of what they will encounter or how they will overcome the obstacles that lie ahead. To others, it could be going to a new grocery store or taking a different route home from work. You see, we're all unique, and the things that push us out of our comfort zone are so different from one person to the next. That's why I let my friends plan the trips we go on. Guys like Beau feel it will always be okay, and that no matter what happens, we will find our way back home again. My brain doesn't work like that. I overthink things, I plan for the worst, I carry too many spare parts, and I do my best to keep myself out of bad situations. Now, I'm not saying one of the two is better than the other, but I will say that when the two are combined, it makes for an awesome adventure. So like most good adventure bike videos, we're going to go to Starbucks at some point in this video. It's just going to happen. But the video actually starts at my house in Southern California, pushing my oversized bike into my little truck and driving out to Phoenix to meet one of my best friends, Beau from Ready to Ride Rentals, and one other guy, Dave, a good friend of Beau's who I'd never met before. The three of us are going on an adventure. We're going to head down to Mexico to a place called Copper Canyon that just makes the Grand Canyon seem small. We're taking our motorcycles, we're spending 7 days on them, living off the bikes, going to a couple hotels, and seeing what happens. That truck and trailer you saw, we drove that from Phoenix about 5 hours south to Douglas, Arizona, where we stayed at the Gadsden Hotel right on the border, and that's where day one of our 7-day adventure begins.
Hey, that looks like the other guy.
All right, off we go. Day one of our trip. Leaving the Gadsden Hotel here in Douglas, Arizona, and heading to the border, which should be about 3 miles away. I don't know if any of us know where we're going. Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. So as day one starts, we cross the border. I get pulled into secondary, as always, for some reason. Given the registration for the bike, they let us go, and then we have to go declare our bikes, pay a refundable deposit for taking them into Mexico, which was weird, but we did get our money back in the end. And then we hop on the highway. We have about 270 miles today, so not a super long day for highway riding. Half of it was actually 2-track highway, not very much fun. We topped off, got some gas, and then jumped on a little canyon ride, hit a little bit of dirt, and that was it for day number one. We end up in a town called Madera, and that's where we spent the night, and it gets good from there. Oh yeah. Probably a bunch of cow runoff, but whatever. All right, morning, start of day number 2. We are in the town of Madera currently. Today's ride, gonna have some fun. Let's see where we're at already for this trip. So we did 270 miles yesterday. I'd say probably about 50 or 60 was asphalt, or sorry, 50 or 60 was dirt. Big highway day getting down here. So day number 2, here we go, leaving the hotel. We're leaving Madera here. There was a big rodeo coming into town this weekend, so there was people riding horses down the street, all sorts of crazy stuff. Had about 15 miles till our gas stop where we hit the dirt, but we're heading to a town called R80, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not even gonna try. I guess I did just try, but I don't know. Day number 2, I thought it wasn't gonna be very much fun. It had a lot of asphalt on it, but man, it was epic. It was so much fun, and these Dunlop Trailmax Raid tires we put on the bikes, this was a day where they really were great. If you want to check out my review, I have a different one on the channel. I'll link it in the description, or you can search it. But anyway, day 2, lots of fun, twisty, broken asphalt, and this actually ends up in R80, which is pretty close to Creel, which is where Copper Canyon starts on tomorrow's ride. So day number 3, day number 4, day number 5, those are the good off-road days. But this one, I'm just gonna let it roll, show you what we encountered, because it was a lot of fun. So, stopped to check out the bridge, found this old Cessna that's been crashed and had to get a picture of the bike, the luggage, tank bag, and all the awesomeness we have going on. But this thing looks like it might have seen better days. Tail section's a little abused here, but good enough to pick up off the side of the road and drag up onto a cliff. So as we're coming through this town, I'm not sure which one it is exactly, we come over this bridge and I look down, I see a little river with some rocks and a little bit of water, and I get all excited when I see water, so I have to race up and grab Beau and bring him back here. We ended up pulling the drone out and getting some cool shots up on the side of the hill, and just hitting a few lines, so good times. Oh. Yeah, way too slippery. So as we jump on the road to continue day 2, we see a big pack of adventure bikes go flying by us a couple minutes before we make it up to the road. So we do what anybody would do and wick it up a little bit because we gotta catch them. But it didn't happen till the gas station. There's just something about that sound. 2 Tenere 700s together, call it a Tenere 14, whatever. I don't know. It just sounded so epic having both the exhausts ringing through my ears simultaneously while hauling butt, for me, through this canyon. I know we're not going that fast, but I'm an off-road guy, so this feels good. Dude, yes? That was so fun. That was a blast. So we're almost to our hotel, another 10 or 15 miles or something, and we see this sign for a mission, and we're like, hey, the sun's still up, let's go check this thing out. So the road coming in, we probably rode it a little faster than we should have, but it was great. It was hard packed with some loose stuff on top, and the bikes were just eating it up. It was such a fun little ride in. It was probably 8 or 10 miles in or something like that. And this old mission, and we got a tour from this lady and her granddaughter, and it was an epic part to day 2. And then we went to the hotel. So we'll wrap up day 2 with this. At this point, I am just feeling good. I'm happy. I am in the zone. We've been riding hard. We've been having fun, and everything just feels great. Look how beautiful this is. So we're gonna go ahead, pull into the town, up to this crazy castle that we stayed at that had terrible food. I don't recommend coming here. I don't know what it was called. I can't remember. If you see this, don't come here unless you just want to check it out. Day 2 over. Start of day number 3, leaving this castle here. And let's see what we're doing so far. 498 miles down, 270 yesterday. What a cool road here. Or a cool driveway, I guess it is technically. Pull over, get a picture of the boys coming down. And we are off. Alright guys, so today is where it actually gets to be a lot of fun. We actually get into Copper Canyon. So we're here leaving Aronapuchi, and we're going to travel down a little ways, and then we're going to hop on some gravel. It's right after we cross a bridge with the yellow handrail. And the way we went with our maps, we went a little bit through Eureka, and then we dropped down this little optional red chute. On this map you can see where we went, but we should have done this other one. We should have continued all the way across and then come into the town of Batopilas on the asphalt through the switchback, because we didn't get to see those, which is like one of the highlights of this trip. It's the most charismatic and like best photo spots, but with how we routed this, we didn't really know what we were doing, so it didn't work out that great, but it was still absolutely amazing. So let's dive into day number 3 here and check it out. I'm really excited to get out, see something besides some highway and some canyons. We've had a great time the first 2 days, but today we actually get to start dropping into Copper Canyon, and I'm excited. So we've got about 25-30 miles until we hit our fuel stop, top the bikes off, and let's see what this adventure brings. These roads are so much fun, even for asphalt. They're all broken and kind of chunky, but yesterday coming into this area was killer. We're running these. I know I keep talking about getting into the canyons and how beautiful and amazing that part is, but these roads were just great. So we got to a spot up here. I had to pull the drone out and get a couple clips of the boys riding. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Man, this is a cool stretch of asphalt. Alright, so on the GPS we got our main track to the left here through the canyon, and I saw this little dirt road on the side and I just kind of followed it, and it looks like it pops out pretty close to our next turn, so figured we'll cruise on this and see what it is or where it is. Oh man, these views are amazing. Oh my God. Wow. That is our first look into it, Beau. So we just stopped here, got a couple epic pictures. This is our first real shot looking down into the canyon of this place, and looking at the elevation on the GPS, we're going in a little ways and then just falling off the side. It's gonna be, this is where the ride gets good. You're good. Got two. There's some big trucks. There's little trucks that are hauling ass on these roads, and everyone's driving them like nobody else is up here. So just pay attention, you'll be fine. Don't slam on the brakes and lay it down in front of them, because they're not going to stop. You're just a little American speed bump in their eyes. I'm just kidding, but yeah. No one out here to help if something does happen. Just push your spot device, and hopefully in 7 to 10 days someone shows up. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm gonna have to get the boys' reaction when they pull up here.
Holy shit. Right?
I was like, I gotta stop here and get their reactions on video. I'm gonna go ahead and find a spot to post the drone up. Just come up when you guys are ready and I'll have everything started. So as I took off right here, the plan was to get ahead, find a nice spot to get the drone out, get some killer shots of the boys coming down into the canyon. But it didn't happen. There was either too much tree coverage right next to the edge of the hill, there were power lines, and if I hit something with my drone and it fell down into the canyon, not only was I going to lose the footage from today, but everything from the trip. So we found a turnoff up here a little ways ahead, and we hiked up and got this extra cool shot of us just walking out on this little plank and taking it all in before we ascended down into the canyon. So as we continue down into the canyon and the town of, what was it called? Come on, brain. Not Creel. I can't remember. Orique, something like that. We'll be going down into that. And then instead of going around the canyon, we're going to go up and over the top of one of these mountains. So as we got to the bottom of this canyon, we came into the town of Orique, and this was kind of like the end of the nice roads for us. We decided to hop on some off-roady stuff, a little bit chunkier, and head up over the mountain to Batopilas. Nice and cool up in the mountains. We're down in the valley now, and I just looked, and it's 88, so definitely warm. So as I came across this bridge, I found something that I had found when I was doing research, a YouTube video of an adventure bike rider who crossed that, and then he got to this section right here that I'm starting to come up, and he made it to right about here. The guy didn't have any momentum. He was taking the bags off his bike, having locals carry him up the hill, help push his bike, and the truth is, a little bit of momentum goes a long way. Now me, Beau, Dave, we're all pretty good off-road riders, so we don't even blink twice at this stuff. But this section here, depending on who you are and what your experience is, can be very hard. So to the guy whose video I watched, if you're watching this, I'm sorry I'm not laughing at you. It's just different scenarios for both of us, and it was fun to see the section that you struggled on and what it was to us. So anyway, keep practicing, man. It's a lot of fun. All right. Fork in the road. So this is where we hopped on the wrong fork in the road. We thought we were taking something extreme or harder rather than staying on the regular off-road route, and we actually cut out more of what we were on that was fun and that would have taken us down the asphalt section through the crazy asphalt switchbacks you see with the rocks all over it. Instead, we cut that off, and on day 6, when we left Batopilas, we actually make our own routes that kind of go out through the canyon that Martine from our hotel recommended, so I never got to see those. So anyway, take this all the way across and then come down through the pavement switchbacks. I think it'd be a much better route, and you can do this part on the next day because the tracks will hit it. couple more corners and we're gonna come into Switchback City. Curious what that looks like. This thing is literally just cut into the side of this cliff. We just got some epic drone footage. Probably see it all over the place. Today's downhill segment brought to you by the Camel Adventure. The fixed brake pedal, actually making your rear brake on this bike work. Stock T7 brake pedal is garbage. And I'm just kidding, they didn't really sponsor this segment or anything, just I bought one and everyone with the T7 should get one. So here it is, the end of day 3 of 7, pulling into Bato Pilas. We're going to be staying here for 2 nights, riding this area tomorrow, all throughout Copper Canyon. And we stay with Martin at his hotel, which I can't think of the name of at the moment. I'll put it down in the comments below. Bato Pilas is amazing. It was my favorite place we traveled to. It was clean. People were sweeping the streets in the morning. Great food. Everybody was so helpful and nice. And it was just a fantastic place to be. So when you come down to Copper Canyon, see Martin, stay here in Bato Pilas, you won't be disappointed. Day 3, that's it. Start of day number 4, and we are at split 3. So we did 270 the first day, 228, 115 yesterday, 614 miles in. So day number 4, starting out here in Bato Pilas. Like I said, we're coming back to Bato Pilas tonight, so we're able to unload some of our heavier gear, leave it here at the hotel, and go do this loop ride that goes through the southwest area and then kind of comes back in on that later part we did in yesterday's ride. However, we have some problems with one of the bikes, and it puts a little bit of a kink in things that we have to figure out and then get back and get the bike repaired so we can actually head out of town tomorrow. So with that being said, let's dive right into day number 4. Alright, so here is our split for the day, and this is a little offshoot here, but I think we're going to take this one over here, just looks a little less traveled, stick to the right, and they both join up just a few miles later. So no matter how well you plan, you don't know where these things are going to go, you don't know what new roads are going to be built, which ones wash out, and which ones are just wrong on the map. So we took this way, and it led us into a little bit of an adventure. We don't end up back on the main track. We have to backtrack a few miles, but it's a lot of fun. Let's keep rolling. I always put these in the video, guys, because it's important. If you come across a closed gate, make sure you close it. If you come across an open gate, leave it open. And it's kind of on everybody else to remember what it was, because if one person leaves it open or closed, it's messed up. So put it how you left it. Most of these you can get by yourself. Sometimes it takes 2 people. Majority of the gates, not just here in Mexico, Arizona, wherever, put the bottom in and then force the top over this way. Sometimes if they're tight, they'll have a stick that comes off that you can pry against it, so. But no need, that one's a little loosey-goosey. Up the hill, roll back off of it, little adventure bike trick. Yeah, it looks like it ties in. Let's see what this is. Alright, so like we were off the tracks before, they were supposed to cross back over our main track, but there was nothing down there. And this track we're on looks like it comes up and ends at a peak here, so we're not really sure what we're gonna find. We're just kind of explorer mode right now, and see if there's a trail that we can tie into. If not, might be backtracking out of here. House?
Yeah. The road must go up higher. I was thinking we might hook up with it.
Yeah. Backtrack out all the way back to the Cayenne route, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're backtracking up. You can see the main track. We're here down here. We are gonna, this whole middle section doesn't really exist, so we're gonna take this upper trail up here and we trace that around, and it looks like it climbs up into the mountain, and according to the map, looks like it should get us where we're trying to go, but who knows? So we spent quite a bit of the morning trying different tracks instead of sticking to the ones that we planned on taking. We got to play with the locals' dogs a little bit. We got to wave to some people. We find an old Ford Ranger that actually died up here somehow, because those things normally just run forever. But we do make it back to the track, and once we get rolling, that's when things fall apart. Alright, had to go backwards and get a picture there. I'm sure it's probably the cover for today's video, because this is just epic. Look at these colors. I'm colorblind. Reds and greens. Oh man. We found a Ford Ranger that couldn't do it anymore. It made it to right there, caught on fire, and then rolled back.
Nice.
Alright, we got all the baling wire or whatever that was out of the bike. It was wrapped around the brake line, this wheel hub, through the chain slider. Luckily I got it before it got tight. Alright, so our route through the mountains down here, almost back up to our main track we wanted to be on this morning that got adjusted a little bit, if you will. So it's been a blast. Saw some really cool stuff that we wouldn't have seen, but it's hard to find some bad stuff when you're down here. All this for a picture of this. Bikes in gear? Yep. Yep. Alright, hold on one second. Your whole peg's about to fall off. Your whole peg's about to fall off. Beau! Woo! So Dave initially pulled over to take a picture of this weird little chapel thing up on the hill, and his bike fell over luckily. When I picked it up, I heard his kickstand rattle when I put the foot down, which made me look at it, which turned out to be a bunch of loose bolts and a missing swing arm bolt. The KTM 790/890 has two swing arm bolts, one on either side rather than one long one that goes through it, and he had lost the left-hand side, but there's a solid sleeve in the center that can slide out the right. So the whole thing was loose, and now we get to jerry-rig some stuff. We tried looking at all of our bikes to see if there was something we could steal off one of them to put in a swing arm bolt, because that's very, very important to get us out of here. Ultimately, we did not have anything, so I had an Allen wrench that was close to the size, and I put that in there with some safety wire, tightened down the other side, and it had a little bit of slop, but it was good enough to get us back to the hotel for the night. So we are on our way back. I'm on the broken bike with the Allen wrench swing arm pivot bolt, kind of cruising. Just it's got a little bit of slop in there, doesn't feel the best, but it's going forward, and yeah, so we're trying to find our way back, trying this new route, or not new but different route, which appears to be maybe an old road in this area that's not used anymore. Well, still beautiful canyon, new one we're coming up, but focused on this thing right now with its weird shaky back end on me, but it's working. I'm getting back where we need to go. Oh, Mexico, you are beautiful. I mean, I'm riding a motorcycle that's missing a swing arm pivot right now with an Allen wrench stuck through there for it to stay together. But I'd still rather be here doing this than a lot of the other places in the world doing different stuff. With daylight running out and the need to get back to Bato Pilas to try and find some sort of mechanic shop or someone who might have bolts, we came across one of the most amazing roads and the most beautiful dirt switchbacks of our entire trip. So we had to stop. I had to get these shots because that's what we're down here for. Not only to experience this, but to make a video to help promote Beau's business, Ready to Ride Rentals, so that we can take other people here. So enjoy these shots because they are magical. So we got back to the hotel just before sunset. I asked Martin at the hotel where we might be able to find a bolt if there was a Napa or a mechanic, and he said there's nothing like that in Bato Pilas. It's too small of a town. But there was one guy who fixes stuff on the north side. Go past the fork, you'll see a guy with a hose out front. Ask him and he'll probably be able to help you. He had an old oil container full of bolts. We poured them out. I matched it up with a bolt that I removed from the other side of the bike, and it fit. We were able to get Dave's KTM back up and running. Martin, if you ever see this, thank you so much for the help and for making Mexico everything it was. This is the end of day number 4. When I sat down to edit this, I wasn't sure if it was going to be one long video that was a couple hours long, 7 individual ride days, or what it would be. But as I'm sitting here 30 minutes into this video, I've decided to make it a 2-part video. So this is where part number 1 is going to end. Part 2 still has so much more to come. Our traveling out of Copper Canyon, up a different way back to America through new paved roads and new adventures and cold and culture and so much. So please keep an eye out for number 2. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Leave a comment. Any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any feedback you have. Thank you so much.